Welcome to the second episode of Raidertown Rundown. I'm your host, David Schulman.
And I'm Ben Friedman.
And let's go right into the news. On January 5th, Governor Phil Murphy sworn in Fanwood Mayor Colleen Marr for her fifth term. Along with Governor Murphy was Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman. Along with Mayor Marr, mayors from surrounding towns came in to shake hands with Governor Murphy and Representative Coleman. Here are some highlights of Fanwood's first council meeting of 2020.
So I ask that we pay particular attention to what's happening nationally, and we pray for peace and diplomacy. I ask that we pay particular attention to what's happening in the state of New Jersey, that we fight anti-Semitism and discrimination and hatred wherever we find it, and that we seek peace and opportunity for all people. And then I pray that you all will find 2020 a time of good health and well-being and family time as you give of your time, talent, and resources to great service in this state.
We are, by many measures, the most diverse American state, measured by religion, measured by race, ethnicity, gender, you name it. And that's something that we wear as a badge of honor. It is a source of enormous strength. It also gives us an extra added responsibility to make sure that this state is a state where that diversity can flourish and flourish safely. So for all the above reasons, let's stand tall unwaveringly and keep the folks who are out there protecting us and leading us in that diverse community in your prayers. Let me just say this on the record before I swear you in. We will fix NJ Transit if it kills me, and it might. We've taken a first, some would say it's a small step. It was not small from my standpoint, but it was a first important step on the one-seat ride and off-peak hours, and we have a lot of work still to do, but we are getting it fixed. It got wrecked over many number of years. It won't get fixed overnight, but we will fix it. You have my word. We have no higher priority. But you're not the fourth smallest state geographically or the densest state in America, and we are both. And sitting across one river from the largest market in the world and another river from one of the fastest growing markets in the country, and not get your transit system right. So you have my commitment, we will get it right. So,
if you are hungry for a brand new grocery shop, then the new Fanwood Larder on Martine Avenue has got you covered, as they will begin to serve new organic foods right in the heart of town. Here's what the store looks like.
We're an organic store. We pride ourselves on being close to the community. Sort of took the place of the A&P, so we want to make it convenient for people to stop in and shop. We get our vegetables and produce delivered twice a week, fresh. We have fresh bread that's delivered. If somebody in one of the local places needs a carton of eggs or milk, they just pop into the store. It's convenient for them. People will stop in and say it's been a long time waiting, and instead of having to drive to the Stop and Shop up in Watchung or Westfield.
It was quite a process. It started long before 2017, but you'll notice my logo says it was founded in 2017, and that's because now that it's 2019 and the store is open, along the way, along those 2 years, people would ask me why I didn't change the logo, and it became a great talking point. Points out the fact that this was an idea a long time in the making. I think I probably came up with the idea for this the day they closed the A&P. This has always been a thriving community. It's more recently is a growing community, and it had its supermarket taken away, and that's just not something I think is really going to be great for the community. So part of the process was identifying where you could put a supermarket here. Certainly the A&P lot was really not suitable. Like a big supermarket company didn't want it, so the option was or the alternative was for a very well-stocked small space grocery store, like a sort of a big city small space grocery store.
The produce is from a company called Fresh Pro. It's a New Jersey-based company, so everything comes in fresh. Everything is organic, primarily. If we can get organic, that's what we prefer to do. We get our eggs from a local distributor. Our coffee comes from our coffee in Westfield. So everything is locally based. So we try to pride ourselves on building what's small, the local companies, local merchants, trying to sell their products, trying to accentuate their products, and trying to actually, if we don't have that product, direct a person towards those products.
So social media, me getting sort of the idea that the community really wanted a grocery store, as I sort of like slowly became confident that it was going to definitely open. I had a sort of an end date when it would open, and I started really promoting it. Social media between Facebook and my webpage and Instagram, I just started really gathering a lot of followers. So the reception on that level has been very good. There's people coming into the store who are already only being open 5 or 6 weeks. I definitely have regular and repeat customers. I have customers who say things to me like, "You saved me a trip to Whole Foods." People come in with shopping lists. I have all kinds of crazy stories about different products I have that I've sold out of because they've become so popular, and they're kind of off the wall things. Like I had loose, like bulk spaghetti. I had 20 pounds of spaghetti that was organic from Italy. And the first person I sold it to came back the next day and said it was the best pasta they ever had. I worked in a store in Fanwood in the 70s called the Florida Fruit Shop. It was on South Avenue, generally where the bridal store is. It was a different building. So that was a little bit of the inspiration for this, as was the store, the Norman's Hallmark store across the street. Its original incarnation as a card and gift shop was called Irma's Bag. And both of those women were really kind of pioneering businesswomen in this community in the 70s. So I take a little inspiration from both of them. But my background is not in grocery. I professionally worked in the music business in marketing. I'm actually really good at picking industries that are going to go through a huge disruption or die. So the music business, I was working in that business when Napster came along and completely disrupted it. But I was really interested in working in the internet space. So I went into, started working in print publishing with companies that had great digital presences. And I think we all know what's happening to print, or what has happened to print. It's a completely contracting marketplace. So I'm really hopeful that grocery is going to stick around for a while. I think everyone's always going to need groceries. Really we aim to be better quality and healthier without being sort of preachy about quality and health benefits. There are a couple of areas where I really want the store to over-deliver for the community. Special dietary products, like gluten-free, dairy-free, things like that. I want to have like the best baking department, because I think I get the sense there's a lot of people in this community that really like to bake, like with their kids, and I want to have those ingredients that you have to get on Amazon. Like I would like to have those things here for the community. But my overall goal is that if you have a grocery problem, you will be able to solve it within this community. We're partnering with other local businesses, like we have oven-ready entrees from John's Meat Market, and eventually we're going to have eggplant caponata that's homemade and sold at Florence Ravioli. We'll have that here too. To keep people in the community, but also sort of pinball them back and forth between all of our great food businesses. There's a lot of great food businesses here in Fanwood and Scotch Plains.
Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.
For over 280 years, the Stagehouse has been serving people all over Scotch Plains. Here's Patrick Ritter discussing news within the Stagehouse today.
The Stagehouse Tavern has been a big part of this town's history for a very long time, but what a lot of people don't know is that it's been going through some major improvements to help the dining experience. Let's find out what they are. All right, Gary, so you're the executive chef here at Stagehouse. Tell me what sort of changes you've been making to the food and the menu.
The food is more like a southern comfort kind of food here. It's more so everybody can come here and feel like they're at home having a good time, conversations, just fun.
All right, so I know you like to experiment a lot with food that you put on the specials menu. Tell me how that's been going.
It's been going very well. With me, with specials, I like to go I'm an out-of-box kind of chef. I like to do things people is not doing at all. Like everything people is afraid of, that's what I do.
All right, so what are your main inspirations for making all the unique dishes that you prepare?
It's no way for me to explain. My food is basically the way I communicate with people. With me, communication is, it's either I'm yelling at you or I'm just staring at you silently. With me, food is I start with a blank canvas. It's like my art. That's how I express myself.
All right, so I know that there's a menu change coming up. What sort of changes can we expect to see on there?
Oh, a lot of Southern food, down home Southern cooking, fried chicken, roasted red pepper hummus, blackened scallops. We have a beautiful pan-seared salmon coming on the menu. It's bok choy, mushrooms, and a lovely ginger soy butter. So it should be interesting and fun.
So Matt, you're the general manager. What changes have you made to the overall scenery, like setup of the restaurant?
To the setup so far, we've really done some minor tweaks to the aesthetic. When we look at the history of this restaurant, we opened 17 years ago as a high-end French restaurant, and along the way, we've changed very much into a casual tavern, but we're trying to really get back to some of the history of the concept and kind of get back to some of our origins. And some of that is, real candles on the table, taking off plastic ketchup bottles and plastic sugar caddies, and just kind of amping up the presentation of the restaurant while still maintaining our core principles, and that's, great value dining experience.
All right, so what was your vision when you first got this job that you wanted the place to look like?
I really would like, this building is so historic, and to me there's nothing like this in New Jersey, and I think to really amplify the historic content without feeling like you're walking into something from the 1700s. We want to pay, true to our history, to the design of this place and all the nuances and its details, but in a more modern, uplifting way. And over the next year, we're doing a lot of renovations to the space, and I think what we're really doing is going to play very true to the historic content of this building without it feeling antiquated at times.
All right, so what would you say is management's main goal for the customers when they eat here?
Our main goal is simple and it's cheesy, is we want to make sure that at the end of the day, everyone's coming out here and they're spending the money that they have to work hard for, right? And you want to make sure that they're spending money, that they're getting the best experience that they feel that they can get. And that ranges from guest to guest, and that sometimes is the tricky part. Some people really come out for an experience. Some people come out because they don't feel like cooking at home. Some people come out, just to kind of get something easy and simple. And I think we do a great job at kind of hitting all the range of our dining experience. But at the end of the day, it's simple. It's serve good food from good quality ingredients that make people happy. And I think with Chef Gary on board, I think the direction that we're going, it's really hitting home more in comfort and passion, and really just putting good, simply prepared food with loud flavors on a plate that is just easy. It's good food that you can come 2 or 3 times a week and eat.
So a lot of younger kids in our school only come here every once in a while with their families. Tell them what you think they should know when they're thinking about a place to eat with their friends on a Friday, Saturday night.
For me, this is, I think for young kids, what we offer that a lot of places don't is, one, we're embracing of families and community, right? So that apart, we're not turning our head against younger people who want to come in. I think that we offer, great value, right? That even I think students can afford and enjoy without breaking their bank. And I also think it's a fun setting. You can sit in the main dining room on a white tablecloth, and that's a great place for a first date. You can come during patio season, get to hang out outside and drink your soda and have a burger, and you feel good about that.
All right, so I'm here with John Hall, a waiter here. What do you think makes the service here different from other restaurants in the area?
Most of the people that work here are professionals, and we've been doing it for a long time, 10, 20 years each, a lot of experience. It's going to be a lot different than when you go to a chain restaurant and these people have only been working a couple of years.
In December, Fanwood got to say happy birthday to 103-year-old Walter Dorr, an avid bicyclist until his 90s. To celebrate Dorr's birthday, Fanwood Mayor Colleen Marr declared December 3rd to be Walter Dorr Day. Cheers to you, Walter.
The New Jersey government has enacted new laws taking effect starting this year. Here are some of those laws. The first law prohibits utilities in New Jersey from cutting off electric service to customers who rely on life-sustaining equipment. New Jersey can now establish its own state-based version of Obamacare, where residents can shop for health insurance.
Now here's Mason Glod with the extended Board of Ed Minute.
I'm Mason Glod, and welcome back to the Board of Ed Minute. The December 19th meeting opened in the Evergreen Gym, where the Blue Notes, a Park Middle School choir, performed.
Good stripes and bright stars.
After, the board acknowledged and recognized the junior varsity boys soccer team and the field hockey team for their successful seasons. Back in the boardroom, it was time for the big event. Dr. Heisey's block scheduling presentation. He started the presentation by discussing what block scheduling is and its advantages. He continued by discussing the high school's trial and students' and teachers' reactions to it.
Yeah, I like my classes every other day.
The board did not vote on the issue, but the presentation was successful and the board reacted positively.
Thank you, Dr. Heisey. That was a great presentation.
The rest of the meeting was standard board business. A small change was made to the school schedule that is relevant to students. On days where underclassmen have standardized testing, upperclassmen will have delayed openings. More updates to come next episode.
Thank you for tuning in to the second episode of Raidertown Rundown. I'm David Schulman.
And I'm Ben Friedman.
Stay classy, SBF.